Oh, welcome back. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Highclassprepper. Today we're going to do the second racking of our high-class homemade wine. As you can see, it's been about 15 days or so, 16, 18, somewhere around there, a couple weeks since we last racked our wine. And you can see there's just very little sediment at the bottom. That's what we're going to get off this time. And this time we're going to leave a little bit of the wine behind, and we're going to try to get as much of that out as we can. I'll get the siphon set up. So I've got the siphon hooked up. We have a great siphon coming out from the carboy down into our bucket. And right now, at this part of the winemaking process, we have a wine that has still quite a bit of yeast, quite a bit of carbonation left in it. We'll rack it this time here, leaving a bit of the wine behind, and then we're going to let it set for another probably week to 10 days. And then one last time I will transfer it back to the carboy, and we'll do some stuff with it then. Sometimes I use a product called bentonite. And what bentonite does is clarifies the wine. If you got a very hazy wine, a lot of floating sediment, mainly if I use it when I make a fruit wine and I'm actually mashing or have a pureed fruit mixture in the wine. You know, we did use the raisins, but the raisins stayed together pretty good. And with this raisin recipe, you can get most of that kind of floating pieces of the fruit out. That the bentonite will actually attach itself to the fruit that's floating in the wine. Most of your sediment's at the bottom, but up inside of the wine there'll be all kinds of sediment floating, and that bentonite will stick to it and drag it to the bottom, weight it down if you will. So we're going to let this finish up. I'm going to go tickle the ivory, and I'll be back. So we got the wine back all in the bucket. We got the lid on and the airlock. Our carboy only has the sediment in the bottom and just a very little amount of wine. Now, to get most of the sediment out, we had to sacrifice about a quart of the wine. We don't want that in our main batch, but you can't waste. This is still good quality wine. And a step we'll do later with the full batch, but just shake that quart jar. You want to try to get all them air bubbles. Crack the lid, let the air escape. Try to get all that CO2 out of there. We'll do this later with the full batch, but you can do this in the quart jar on just some of the wine that you were going to waste. We'll get our carboy all cleaned up for the next and last and final racking. Well, I know what you're all waiting for. You want to know, how does it taste? Well, I've shaken this jar several times. Tried to release a lot of carbon dioxide that was in it. Let's give her a shot. Still got a lot of CO2 trapped in it, but remember, this was going to be thrown away, so we might as well not waste. Now that tastes like $1 million. Or should I say, pocket change. There's still some CO2 trapped in, but it's not near as bad, and it's really starting to get the body. Oh yes. Well folks, looks like we're all out of Merlot homemade high class wine. Until next time, stay classy, my friends.